Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer. I'm right over there to your, our right or left, depending on which way you're looking at us. That's John over there, our resident millennial with the beard from hell. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
So,
Pretty good.
I can
Whoa.
tell you're all excited looking.
Super excited,
Uh,
as always.
Looks like we got some activity in
We
the
got
chat very
Seawall.
early. We got Seawall.
Yeah,
We
we
got
got
Jake
Jake.
from Freedom Scoop in there. He had firsties. I
He
like
did have firsties.
how he stands
Seawall
up
had
for
sloppy
us.
seconds.
You know what?
Yes.
Hey, you know
He had
what?
a good
Since
idea.
I've got Seawall here, I gotta say this real quick, and then we'll jump into you running off at the mouth about some announcements and such not. But Seawall makes me. I think about Seawall all the time lately because
Aw.
I got my granddaughter in the house. You know, she's working on 2 years old right now, and she's trying all sorts of new things out, and that includes walking styles. And like the last couple of weeks, she's taken to goose stepping through the house. And every time she does it, Seawall comes to mind, and I'm like, "You go." I just wanted to throw that out there because
That's
it
great.
just cracked through my head whenever I saw it.
You obviously taught her that.
No, this is
Try to
just,
make her a little
you know what?
Nazi.
One of my daughters did that as well, but the other one didn't. But one of them did. It's just one of these things that kids are trying out new things. Jake will attest to this. You'd be surprised at some of the weird stuff that they try out.
Yeah.
That's it's interesting. It's interesting, especially when they start trying out potty mouth words. That's
Yes, yeah.
always awesome. That's just like, oh, okay.
Heck.
What
Yeah.
did I say? When did you hear that? Who did you hear that from?
Yeah.
Post Gen Z is coming along well. Post Gen Z. I
Yeah.
like that. Folks, if you like what you're hearing as Jake has instructed you, please hit the like button and make sure and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you're telling friends and family to do the same as well, because you don't want to you don't want to have your misery to yourself. You want to share
Right.
the misery, spread that love, as it were. Let the dysfunction run free. So, John, while we've got folks here and attentive for 30 seconds, can you give them an idea of some of the things that are coming up? We've got some announcements to make here.
Yes. Yep. In 11 days, it's going to
11.
be, Friday, August 30th. Yes, 1 1. We have Blonde from Beauty and the Beta and Blonde in the Belly of the Beast channel. She's going to be a guest, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. Super excited.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some pretty burning questions for her. Especially regarding her work today on the 19th. So we'll see how she did with that. And people who watch that podcast will understand the joke. Then Halloween, we're doing our Halloween Spooktacular, which will be a lot of fun. We've kind of thrown around the idea of doing something for charity for that, but we don't know yet. We'll see what happens. Um, and then December 6th, Friday, December 6th, we have another 12-hour live stream for charity for Toys for Tots. So we're going to try and get some toys for the little kids who might not get them otherwise. And, have some fun at the same time. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of doing a little bit of a charity run on Halloween as well. Just a short show, three hours maybe, whatever. But
Yeah, yeah, we don't have to go
Ray,
all night or anything.
this, I love charity. It's a good thing, especially if you're
Yeah.
helping out the right people. You know,
Right. Yeah, not
um,
helping out those assholes. We all know who we're talking about.
right,
Yeah.
right. Hey,
Yeah.
I like Jake threw something in there about kids. He's backing me up. My kid told me I should sell mom to the bank because she wouldn't take him to Chick-fil-A. See, that's kids for you.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
That's kids for you. See you all. But in all seriousness, congrats on the grandchild walking. Yeah, hope she has a successful. She will. Yeah,
Aw.
she. I taught her to walk. I taught her to walk very early on. She was running before she could walk. Actually,
Well, yeah, that's usually how that works because they
yeah,
tilt their head forward and their body kind of follows.
yeah.
And
And she
That's
hasn't
about
stopped running. She is very Forrest Gump about it. She likes to run when she's going places. But I
Yeah.
do I monster chase her around the house a lot. It's a good way. Kids are a lot like pets. Like they say, a
Yeah.
dog, right? You have a dog that's really anxious and jumping around and everything. But if you take them outside and you just run them
Hmm.
around, play with them, play with them, play with them, they get worn out. They'll just go lay down in the house for a few hours, right? They'll just chill.
Yeah.
Well, kids are the same way. You just run them around the house. Run, chase them, chase them, chase them for a little bit. You don't even have to do much of the chasing. Most of the time, it's just me because she runs around a circle in the house. So I just go from a 10-degree arc on the circle around one wall. So she thinks I'm coming at her from both directions all the time. So she's just back and forth.
She's like,
It's great.
ah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Wear them out, they'll go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks just got to understand kids. They're pets.
Right.
But pets
They're
aren't
pets.
kids. Let's understand that. Let's understand. Children
Sure.
can be dealt with like pets, but pets are not children.
Right.
I want to make that clear. This is my stance on this. And if you call your pet a child, I will do the obligatory eye roll into the back of my head. I'll roll my eyes so far back I'll be able to tell my shoe size.
That's fair enough.
John, anything exciting happening in your neck of the woods besides that beard
Um,
on your neck that looks like woods?
yes. My godmother was in town this weekend, so I went to go see her yesterday. She was staying with my parents,
So
so I went and hung out with them.
is she a typical godmother? Does she rule with an iron fist?
No, not really.
No,
No.
she doesn't hold it over your head or anything. I'm your godmother.
No.
Does she ever
No, but she
try?
was.
Does she ever try and put you in a dress and some heels and change a pumpkin into a carriage? Do any of that?
No, she hasn't done any of that yet. No,
Okay,
but
gotcha.
yeah. Um, no, she's doing good though,
Yeah.
which is good.
What
Yeah,
was
there's all kinds of drama in her life and stuff. So
really?
leaving her husband and all that nonsense.
Now, is she like of an age with your parents, or how is she
Yeah, yeah,
how was she
she's yeah.
related to the family before she became your godmother?
She's just my mom's best friend for forever. Like just super best friends since like the beginning. They grew up together and everything.
Yeah, that it's funny. It's funny though. Those don't. Friends may be good friends, but they don't necessarily make ideal godparent material. Like I wouldn't make
Yeah,
you a godparent of one of my children. I
I
love you.
wouldn't
I
want to
love
be.
you to death,
I wouldn't
but
want to be.
but I would never ask you. Right? I would never. I'd never put the burden of you having to decide to say no to me on you.
Right.
I wouldn't do that to
Yeah.
you. Kids, are
I don't
you
want the
kidding
responsibility.
me?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I don't know.
But
I don't know if that whole thing is taken the same way. Well, if it means the same thing anymore, it's kind of become a derivative thing in a lot of circles, right? Like Jake. What about me, Rob Seawall? Well,
look,
maybe
maybe
Seawall.
Seawall.
Maybe. I don't know. There might be a little. Well, no, I don't know if you would be quite as authoritarian as I am in the house. You may be. We may be on the same level with that, so that's possible. Jake from Freedom. What type of god? Like a Loki parrot? That's funny.
Trickster God, yeah,
A
in that kind
trickster.
of
A
way.
trickster godparent. Yes, that would be the way to
Yeah,
be it.
like she gave me my first real beer and all that kind of stuff. I smoked my first cigarette with her. Um, you know, she was like, yeah, she was that kind of person.
So, John, real quick, I just wanted to touch on something, kind of like a little follow up, if you don't mind, on our conversation from last Monday when we did our ethos, logos, pathos
Hmm.
discussion, because an interesting tweet came out from Rashida Tlaib. Tlaib, let's go with that pronunciation. I'll go ahead and
Talib.
put a. I don't. Just in case I'm not sure. I'm usually pretty good with linguistics, but there's a few of them that just really throw me where I'm just like, that could go like a bunch of different ways. But anyway, so she was apparently Bill Maher did an episode of his show, and he was railing against Palestinians, Omar and Clabe, and BDS. I'm not sure what that's.
Yeah, I forget what it stands for.
I
I
know.
guess we'll look it up real quick
It's one of
before the
those.
chat can
It's one of
yell at
those.
us.
Yeah, the channel yellows. But what
Boycott, divestment, sanctions movement. There you go.
that's
Works to end international support for Israel's oppression
gotcha.
of Palestinians and pressure Israel to comply with international law.
Right.
Boom.
And she spoke out about it because the entire panel was just white people. There were no Palestinians, no Arabs, no Muslims, no people of color whatsoever. So of course, immediately, if you've done that, you're immediately not having a worthy discussion. You're just
Sure.
you're worthless. You're useless. But she's saying maybe people should just boycott a show for doing that kind of thing. But she says, I'm tired of folks discrediting a form of speech that is centered on equality and freedom. This is exactly how they tried to discredit and stop the boycott to stand up against the apartheid in South Africa. It didn't work then, and it won't now. So, when we were talking about this last week, I was of a mindset that much more these days we see this trend of that really, really digs into destroying the ethics, the ethos of one side or the other versus the person that's delivering the argument versus the argument itself, right? And which destroys dialogue. But what she says in this is completely counterproductive to good dialogue because she's basically calling for people to stop doing the one thing that you want to do in a debate, which is discredit what the other person is saying and add value to what you are saying. I mean, you don't need to destroy the person. Yes, you can maybe question their credibility, but the credibility of what they're presenting as an argument, yeah, you should totally want to destroy that, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah.
But
Of course.
but this idea that we want to destroy the fundamentals of discussion, and I think both sides are. This is speaking to how both sides are doing this.
Yeah, 100%.
Where they're completely virtue signaling so much that and discrediting each other, because I don't think these women, whatever they've said, they can have their criticisms, whether it be about America, whether it be about Israel, anti-Semites, whoever they're talking about. They have a right to their opinion. They have a right to their criticisms. But to destroy, for them to destroy the people that disagree with them, while the people that disagree with them are trying to destroy them on a personal level, this is a problem I have, because no discussion is being had.
Right, yeah, there's no room for discussion when all you're doing is just trying to discredit the other person. The idea is just don't even get brought up, which I think is part of the plan. I don't know if it's, conscious or subconscious, but it's much easier. Like I said the last episode, the episode where we talked about it, that it's just way easier to discredit the person than it is to discredit their ideas.
Yeah.
And so it's just go with that, and no more, no actual thinking need be done.
Right, and I find it. This is the this is the kind of tweet. This is the kind of action that really speaks to the heart of what's going on in the present day. I mean, whether you agree with Bill Maher or not, he was sitting down at a table and having a discussion about these things.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so you don't like the demographic of the people that are discussing it. They're Americans. They have a business discussing it because this affects Americans as a whole, right? This is policy that's being decided on in Washington, so it affects Americans. I don't care what color they are. Mm-hmm. And the whole point now is just to attack the fact that the discussion that was being had, by who it was being had. Uh, so
Right,
let's
instead of
destroy
what's
the
actually
discussion.
being
Destroy the
right.
discussion, and talk about how a discussion should be had, but not have a discussion to show. it's
Hmm.
it's all very
Yeah, I
confusing,
don't see her
and
having a discussion about
it,
about all
it
this. I mean, I guess she did kind of with like a press conference or something where she was talking about Israel's not our ally and all this kind of stuff. Um, I mean, which is technically true. They're more of a parasite than anything
well,
else.
well, yeah. I mean,
Taking, just taking, not giving.
well, I
You
mean,
know.
when it's all said and done, you can look to both sides of this conversation, and you can see reasoning behind both sides, especially if we have,
Hmm.
like true transparency, if we have real understanding of why we are, so deeply embroiled in jumping whenever Israel snaps its fingers, especially after
Hmm.
things that have happened in the past between us and Israel. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Israel has proved that they'll turn on us
Yeah.
at a moment's notice. And I say in a moment's notice from more of a historical passage of time situation, right? I mean, moment's notice
Hmm.
and these kind of things can be a 5 year period, whatever you want. But
Yeah.
um,
And not only that, but hang on, the obligatory disclaimer, though, because we're talking about Israel. We're talking about the government of Israel. We're not talking about Jews.
no,
So
not at all. No,
everyone calm down.
this
Put
is
your
a
Twitters down. It's okay.
right.
Jesus.
This is specifically about policy that's being enacted by our government in regard to a foreign power. And
Yeah.
we have to view Israel as a foreign power, just like we do anybody else. Um, this I have a problem with us having this buddy buddy stance with certain countries if there's not a legitimate reason for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you telling us openly, and what is the real reason? Seriously, what's the real reason why we want to be there when they snap their fingers? Because I don't see them as being there when we snap ours.
Yeah.
I think this really plays out historically the other way around. It's just weird. Why are we so desperate? And is it because of their strategic location? Is it really come
Yeah.
down to that?
Oh, that's probably what it is. It was our first real foothold in the Middle East. So, I mean,
Uh,
and then obviously we moved on to, Iraq, Afghanistan. Soon we'll be in Iran. We love Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. So,
in regard,
uh,
Sewell says in regard to Israel, they are on paper an ally, but the relationship is
right.
lopsided, and absolutely it is. It is absolutely lopsided. I mean, this is what I find interesting. Is like we have tense relationships with a country like North Korea or a country
Hmm.
like Russia, um, but neither of those countries, well, in recent history, has just openly attacked us, right? Like Israel, within my memory, has openly attacked us.
Oh, and there's Midget B showing
Uh,
up. And what exactly can we expect from them?
right. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
again, it goes to this idea. I would think that the criticism of our relationship with Israel would be a much more talked about subject and should be under more scrutiny,
mhm.
so that if nothing else, that we demand an explicitly legitimate reason for having such a tight relationship with them, to where it has such an impact on our country in the way it does, whether it be from a cultural aspect, whether it come from from the government, but from a policy standpoint, it certainly affects our global politics, our global diplomacy, um, with other countries. you know
Mhm.
so I need to know. I don't know. This one's always bothered me. Israel is always it's always been curious to me. And I think, I'll tell you what, I think one of the reasons why is it comes from all that Catholic teaching growing up.
Mm.
And, because it talks about in Armageddon, or what is it? Not, what's
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Ah, Revelations. Yeah, like
Revelations?
yeah,
How
yeah,
that is going to be, there is where the heart of the conflict will begin. There'll be a
yeah, yeah.
conflict, in that part of the world, to mark the coming, the second coming. But I'm like, I would nod my head and agree with that, but shit, we that shit's been going on all my life. I mean, there's been
Yeah, there's
conflict over there all my life. Has it ever stopped? You know?
yeah, no, there's been conflict over there since the beginning of time. I mean,
Yeah, see, like Midget says, they're basically our protectorate in the region. They put us in opposition to Iran, Syria, and Russia.
yeah,
Um, and it's one of those things that I is that a good enough reason? I Is that something we need to do anymore?
yeah, especially when we have Europe to have bases in for Russia and Syria. Iran's really the only one, but now we have Afghanistan and Iraq. So yeah,
We have an immigration policy that stands as it is presently in this country. So I have no issue with Israelites coming to this country.
no.
Palestinians, anybody who's allowed into this country, I have no problem with you coming into this country. Your people are welcome. Your religion is welcome. Everything is welcome. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with your foreign policy anymore. I don't want to deal with your politics.
Yeah.
That I don't need. I don't need that because it affects my country. And sometimes in a very negative way, especially when we do have people that take it upon themselves to lash out at groups like that here in our country, on our soil, terroristic acts in regards to that. That one's always stuck with me. Um, but that's just me. That's what can I say? But again, we'll throw the disclaimer out there. This is not in any way speaking out against Jewish people, Israel as a country. It's simply
Or
about
just the
policy.
government.
It's about politics. That's all it is. So, speaking of politics and other countries, and I'm sure Midget may have a few comments to throw in the chat about this one.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but I was reading an interesting article today, and I didn't bother to save it, and I couldn't find it before the show again because I couldn't remember the source. I'm a horrible person. I thought I threw it
Yeah.
in the chat, but I don't think I
You're
did.
the worst person
But
ever.
basically, it was talking about the complications that are going to go on when the what did you
Brexit.
open board not open borders, but how what is the free travel,
Freedom of movement. Yeah,
freedom
free
of
movement
movement between throughout the
throughout Europe. Yeah.
EU. Whenever No Deal Brexit goes into place, that's going to change the landscape completely for the UK and the freedom of movement between the UK and EU. Which I thought was interesting because at the same time, Boris Johnson is planning on, provided no deal Brexit goes through as it should in October, he's going to institute a stricter policy on coming into the country. He wants to fine tune who comes into the country for whether it be residents, working, and not necessarily just speaking to citizenship at all, but more about who's coming in as a whole.
hmm
That they're bringing something to the table from an educational, manufacturing, whatever, very specifically that they have something legitimate to bring to the table, to where you're going to have to actually jump through a couple of hoops here and there to actually get into the UK if you're coming in from the EU.
Right.
There shouldn't be any more free movement with a no deal Brexit. That's going to cause
Yeah.
problems, right?
I mean, it'll be a little confusing at first. I mean, obviously they know what's coming and they'll be able to figure it out before then, hopefully. But no, I mean that sounds like Mitch B said, it sounds perfectly reasonable. That's what most countries do outside of the EU. You can't just go to another country and start working. You have to have like a work visa and all this kind of stuff. Same thing if you want to go to the EU from another country, you have to go with the work visa before you can become a EU citizen.
Okay.
No, yeah. Regarding the people who are already there working, um, I'm sure what they'll do is like grant them a temporary visa for X number of months or even a year or so, and then once that expires, they can either apply for UK citizenship or get out. They're
Right.
not just going to kick them out day one, you
Right.
know.
Well, actually, there is an impetus to get signed up in that
Hmm.
regard, because as I mentioned to you off mic, some people have been biding their time, waiting to see how this is going to fall out, and may have,
Sure.
maybe pushing a line as to getting this done before no deal Brexit goes through, and does put themselves in a position of, okay, you need to shit or get off the pot, but you may not have
Yeah.
time to shit. Um,
Right.
so um, they, I just, I didn't know if the tightening of their entrance policy was more of a, in your face to the EU, or if that's just an expected move that UK would have done, whether it was Boris Johnson in place or anyone else, that they would tighten up their policies on who's coming into the country from the EU after having such a open relationship in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that anyone would have done that necessarily. Um, I think other people might have had like more lax immigration laws, but yeah, no, Boris Johnson's going to be good for that. Um, hopefully he'll actually like get their shit together because they're fucked over there. Like
Now,
the whole country is fucked.
now, in regard to the free movement in the EU, so if you're in France, you can go into another country
Hmm.
nearby and work, right, without an issue,
Yeah.
or do you still have to get work, any kind
No,
of work passes?
you can
It's
live
just free
anywhere.
movement
Yeah.
for everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So that is going to be the thing that's, I think, most impacted. Like you were saying, the people that are already there. There are people in
Hmm.
residence in the UK that work there that are, from other countries in the EU, um, which you know. I have a side note. I mentioned to you off mic that I've been watching the Oliver Stone docuseries about historical
Mm.
stuff, history, and it was talking about World War II. And when they showed how far Germany pushed through all of Europe and had taken it
Yeah.
over, I was sitting there looking at it. I'm like, so if you just took, Germany, the word Germany off of there, and just stuck EU on there, would that kind of be the
Yeah.
same thing?
Yeah. No, I mean that's and Germany's already at the head of the EU, so that's why everyone's saying it's the Fourth Reich. You know.
It's very interesting when you
Yeah.
see it on paper, and it's like really brings it home. Um,
And Jake from Freedom Scoop is asking, so if we buy Greenland, will it be removed from the EU? Of course, it'll become the 51st state, and then we'll have Puerto Rico become 52.
no, no,
Yeah, it'll be
no, no,
fine.
no. He's right. It can still become part of the United States, but he's right. That's Trump's way into the EU.
Why would he want to
Think
be
about
in the EU?
it. Why wouldn't he? Because
The
he
EU is
because
garbage.
because he could usurp Germany as the head of the EU easily.
Hmm.
America takes control of the EU, and now we
Oh
control
yeah.
Europe.
Yeah, but oh my god, what a shit show that would be. That would be ridiculous. All the problems they have over there? No.
Trump can fix that. He can make Europe great again.
We only need like four
Mega.
terms, so
He would be mega over there.
mega.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Um,
territory.
see. There's Jake. Now you're playing 4D chess.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Midgeby's right. You have to pay in. We have to pay in more than Germany in order to, start really
Ah,
leading stuff.
ownership has its privileges. Everybody who owns shit paid in to own it. If we pay in, we can own Europe. We can own the EU,
We could own Europe anyway.
and then
They have like
the
no
UK
military.
will
We are.
really shit their pants. Holy
We're like,
shit! I hadn't even
we'd be
thought
like, don't
about
even
that.
worry about Brexit anymore. Like, we got this. we're gonna make Europe great again.
I'm just
That might
saying.
be racist though.
What?
That might, mega make Europe great again. Sounds kind of racist.
No, it's not
It's
like
very white
it's not like
supremacist.
it's MOGA make Orientals great again. See, that would be racist.
Tens of billions and billions of euros. We don't play with monopoly money, midget. We have real money.
So, all right. So I'm going to put this out there in the chat, and I'm going to ask you, John. I'm going to ask this question in regard to 4D chess. Is it possible that that is a thought that has gone through Trump's mind as an avenue into getting a foothold into the EU for later securing control of the EU?
I don't know. I know he tweeted something that was freaking hilarious. Did you see that picture of it was like Greenland, like a little village in Greenland, and there was a massive Trump tower, and it was like, this is what will happen if Trump buys Greenland.
No, I hadn't
And then he
seen it.
he retweeted the picture and said, "I promise not to do this to Greenland."
Right?
Yeah, that was good.
Wow, I hadn't thought about that. Now see, I said something in Discord earlier about this, in which I said that as far as Greenland is concerned, there are a lot of natural resources there. And if we could get our hands on it for a song, if we could get our hands on Greenland, that would go a lot further to decreasing our dependence on anyone for a lot of shit, and thus further our isolationist capability. It would give us a larger pool of resources and allow us to, tell more people to screw off.
Yeah, but then we have to deal with those Greenlanders. You know what they're like.
Yeah,
Wait,
they're going to be like
do you?
Americans before long.
Right.
We're going to send AOC up there to get things straightened out.
Oh,
Put on your parka, baby. You're going to the heart of global warming.
Oh my god, that would be funny.
We need a woman on the ground. We need somebody in the field. Really, and report back to Congress what you find out via Skype.
Hey, Seawall's got a good idea. We'll just wait for Europe to fight itself again, and when they're weak, we fly in and liberate them from their freedom and make Europe an American colony. That sounds like a great idea.
Right? I think we could do that. Jake says, I bet we could buy Greenland for less than the cost of the Green New Deal. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We'll just wait for them to congeal, then parachute into Brussels and take it all at once. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's true. If you just take Brussels, that's all you really need. That's where the EU Parliament is.
Look.
Take that and be like, all right, well, we're in charge now.
No, you got it. We need to take a top-down approach. We take the top-down approach. We come in through the administration of the EU through Greenland. We just come into the administration and we start enforcing policy. We've already got bases over there. We've already got a foothold in many of these countries, or all of them. So we're there. We're ready to secure our position as head of the EU. All we need is Greenland.
We could do that with maybe 200 paratroopers. That's all we really need. Just drop them over Brussels, take the EU Parliament, boom.
Well,
the EU, the entire continent of Europe will be ours.
I think that would be less well received than, say, just sneaking in the back door.
What are they going to do?
Taking that empty seat at the table.
What are they going to do? They don't have shit.
Well,
what are we going to do? What are they going to do?
Well,
nothing. They don't do shit.
They've got the home field advantage, John.
Right, exactly. EU, you mean Airstrip 1. Exactly. Airstrip 1.
They've got the home field advantage if we go in aggressively. They don't stand a chance. Look.
They're all pussified now.
Look, we have a president who runs through foreign policy like a bull in a china shop, and people sit around and remark at how great a job he's doing with it. So cut him loose. Get Greenland. Get his hands on Greenland and cut him loose into the EU. It'll be ours before the 2020 election, and then he'll win the election.
Well, yeah, maybe. A lot of people in Europe don't like him. They believe all the news and stuff. They don't
That's
have any other
it.
choice because
What
that's all
people
they have.
like in Europe doesn't matter. What
Well, if they're an
matters
American colony,
is
they get to vote, don't
the
they?
EU Parliament, and with Trump at its head,
That's true. Yeah, the
mega,
individual people would matter.
mega, mega,
Mega, mega. Yeah.
buy Greenland, mega.
The German
Rob the
military
German,
special force. Yeah, go ahead. You
Rob
can read
the
it.
German military special forces are considered less effective than basically trained American troops. They have no
Yeah.
chance. I
And don't even get me
understand.
started on the French.
Hold on, though. It wouldn't just be the German military we would have to deal with. Remember, we're talking about this is the EU, so everybody's got to get involved, right?
No.
Now, let me ask you
No, once you
this.
take the parliament, that's it. They've lost.
Do what?
Once they take once we take parliament, that's it. They've lost. All you gotta
Everybody's
do is go
lost?
in there. Yeah, yeah. You just gotta go in there and take down that shitty EU flag and put up the great stars and bars up. And everything's good. We win.
Well, if you think it could be done easily. Jake says we could just say the EU has weapons of mass destruction. It worked for Bush
Ooh.
Jr.
No, what we do is we say that the EU has information that would lead to the arrest and conviction of Hillary Clinton. They'll be dead in a week. Yeah,
That's not funny. That's not funny. Too
it's kind of
soon.
funny.
Too soon. You can't prove they don't. We wouldn't want the smoking gun to be a mushroom cloud.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I would expect there's somebody in the EU had. Are those
Well,
countries
yeah.
not
Most
nuclear
most of those
capable?
countries most of those countries do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
expect. You know,
I mean, the
I
UK certainly does. France does. Germany does. I don't know about the rest, but most of them do. Yeah, or a lot of them do. So good enough.
yeah, I think that I think this is I think we could do this. I think we could take over the EU. I think it'd be very easy. All we need is
It's true. C1 makes a good point about the French Foreign Legion. That would not be fun to fight against, but I mean, would be a lot of losses, but eventually, yeah, we would fight. We would beat them. But
I mean,
yeah, those guys are tough as nails,
if
man.
we only sent in a couple of hundred paratroopers, I mean, you might be surprised. You know,
Into Brussels, and then they just have to hold the
I
parliament.
mean, they'd have to be
They
our.
hunker down there, and until we can send reinforcements, it'll be fine.
I mean, it would have to be 200 over best. Do we have 200 of those?
Oh yeah.
Just want to make sure. Um, I think I think that most of the attention over there. Anyway, we could probably do it. Most everybody's. I know the UK is going to be distracted. I'm waiting to see what happens with Prince Edward. This is going to be fun because
Oh yeah.
he's come out again and denied that he had anything to do with any of the girls that Epstein was involved with. And I'm like, if you denied it once, wasn't that enough?
It's never enough.
You've got to re-deny. But
We could blockade the UK, but why?
Well, right. I mean, we don't want anything. We want the UK to be all by themselves with us in control of everything around
No, we'll
them.
just invite them to rejoin the EU with us as the head.
Well, yes, that's what we want, right? We don't want to fuck with
Yeah.
the UK at all. We just want to go in.
No,
We want to
no
take
need.
over the EU, secure
Yeah.
our position, and then they'll just be like, okay, well, I guess we don't really have much choice now.
Yeah, and we'll just airdrop a bunch of teas, a bunch of tea bags and stuff down, and they'll be all right for a while.
Yeah,
Be busy sipping tea.
never expected those Yanks to show up right on our back door.
Yeah. And conquer their ancient enemy, France.
So,
Your junior partner, the Brits are very good at colonizing things. That's true. We could colonize the world together.
So, here would be interesting if in 21, if all of that happened and Britain came back into the EU, and then in right before 2176, revolted and wound up securing their independence from America and the EU in 2176. That would be almost perfect.
That would be
It
cool.
would be like a really interesting story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
We
little.
should write that. Let's make that movie.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right, somebody get us the film rights for some of this shit. Something. We need a budget.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need it.
Somebody secure the money, and Robert will write a script, and I'll executive produce it.
Just executive produce. You don't want to
Yeah, I'll be
actually
the.
produce it.
No, I'll just be the executive producer. Just put my name on it. That's
You
all.
just want to sit around and nod at everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Jake's got
Jake's
$25
throwing
for
in
us.
$25. Hey, that'll buy us a
You know how
couple
much?
lattes
You know how much
at
Play-Doh that will buy? We could.
Starbucks. That's the budget. $25.
All right, we've got Axis of an Allies game, right?
That's true. Yeah, we could use
We
little
could
figures and do
we
like some
we
low shots so they look really
right
big.
right
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get a little blowtorch and kind of melt like things if they need to be moved and things like this, arms on soldiers
Right.
and stuff. Yeah, we'll get some
Stop motion, it's time consuming, but it's cheap. So
Right.
we could just do stop motion.
Now we just need a film studio behind it, so that's the only thing. Leo DiCaprio to play Angela Merkel.
We could probably get him if we promise to buy him a Starbucks.
No,
Like,
you don't
Starbucks
want somebody
or
that looks that feminine to play her, do you?
Yeah, no, we should get the guy who played Emperor Palpatine to play her. But I think
Oh,
he's
I
dead.
thought
He's
she
been dead
played
for a long
Emperor
time.
Palpatine.
that's what I'm saying. It looks so alike,
Yeah.
They're equally evil.
Are you sure it wasn't her? Was that somebody else?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's long dead.
Oh, the first one, maybe.
Yeah.
Wait, the Emperor? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He may not be dead, but he's not available for
Get Terry Crews to play her. Hey, that'll play the
Terry
diversity.
Crews.
Yes. That would be awesome. I'm so down.
That's just wrong.
Yeah. And then we can get Mike Tyson to play Boris Johnson.
Yeah. We should
pretty sweet.
we should give North Korea a little play. We could have
Kim Jong.
who's the basketball player that
No.
Kim Jong loves
Nope.
so much? We could have him play Kim Jong.
No, Kim Jong, the
Kim
comedian
Jong.
guy from Hangover. Yeah.
Hasn't he played him already?
No. He might have actually.
No,
I don't
he
know.
didn't.
I don't remember who played him.
He didn't play him in
But-
the interview. No.
Yeah. Or we can just use the puppet from Team America World Police.
That's not a bad move.
But that was Kim Jong Il. But I mean, I'm sure we can get a Kim Jong Un one.
We could get the dad from what's the Fresh Off the Boat. Yeah, the guy that plays the dad on Fresh Off the Boat.
No idea.
He's Asian.
Close enough.
That's all you need, right?
Yep. No, I like the puppet idea.
No, the puppet's good. I like that. Who would play Donald Trump though?
Alex Baldwin, obviously.
Alec Baldwin?
Alec Baldwin, yeah. Isn't he already doing
too
them?
overplayed? Too overplayed. Not
Fair
diverse.
enough.
Not diverse enough.
Yeah,
Man.
but he's evil, so we can't have a person of color playing an evil person.
No.
These are the rules.
He's not an evil person. He's just misunderstood.
No, he's evil.
Which means Oprah should play him.
Yes, Oprah should be Trump.
Oprah should be Donald Trump. Either her or Rosie O'Donnell.
Or Ellen DeGeneres. That's who we need to get to play Trump.
Ellen, yeah, it wouldn't be hard
She
to
just put
color her hair.
a little fat suit on her.
Yeah,
It'll be good. Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell could do it, or Roseanne Barr.
Rosie. That would be cool. Yeah. I think we got a movie here, guys.
We've got something going on here.
Yeah. I don't know if we can do all that for $25.
Tonight is pretty stupid. Yeah, no.
It's shooting the shit, man.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
We already went through our topics in half an hour, so.
Brexit is a real topic. I don't know if you know. It's a real thing that's going on. And it's like so major here in America.
I mean, it's going to affect us.
I know, and I hate it. It really bugs me. I'm just like, God damn it. Didn't we like tell them we didn't want to be a part of their bullshit anymore once?
Yeah.
And that didn't stick.
And Midget B, we have 15 more minutes. What do you want to talk about, Midget B? What will make this night
I swear to God, if it has anything to do with a comic book.
Yeah, we can't really talk about that because we don't know anything about it. So.
Right?
I mean, I guess we can kind of.
I mean,
bullshit
unless you
over
want to
the-
talk about origin stories of, anything written before 1990,
Oh my god!
I would be okay there.
Did they even have ink back then? I mean, Jesus.
Did you just say that?
Yeah, it was before I was alive, so
Oh, everything before, all right.
everything. Yeah,
In the
everything before I was
before
alive
time,
is the Stone Age. Yeah,
it's just the before time.
yeah.
The before time.
Oh man,
When the Grumps ruled the world.
that's right. Oh man,
They they need to make a new Star Trek, but something good.
they are. They're making Picard.
A
I don't know if it's
is
gonna
it
be good.
is it a
I don't know if it's gonna be
series or
good,
is it a
but
movie?
yeah, no, it's a series.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about this. What do you know about it?
I know they're bringing back Sir Patrick Stewart.
Well, I would hope so. Wait, is this supposed to
It at
be
least
after
makes
or
sense.
before?
Dude, we've made sense all night, Midget B. You're just not following. We were talking about Brexit, the movie.
Right.
Jesus.
We're talking about a future, a
Oh no, it was
futuristic movie.
no, it was
That-
the American Colonies musical. Yes.
oh, we would need to make it a musical?
Yeah.
Oh, that
of
would be
course.
awesome. So definitely gonna have to make sure and work that in. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
And somehow we got to get America Fuck Yeah in there. We got to get the rights to that
that's
one.
the opening. Yeah,
Right?
that's obvious.
America.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that see, and it could all be, and we could even make it as futuristic as you want, Midget B, because it'll be like 100 and what 56 years from now, once all this is panned out in the direction we want. It took a while to buy Greenland and get it set up, and infiltrate the EU and take a good strong foothold there, and maybe we put a slap down on Russia in the interim. Right,
just on the
Right.
side, yeah.
And the UK felt like that they were pulled. Maybe that's what started their ideas for revolt, was because we used them like a little bitch because they're over there close, in dealing with Russia, and they weren't happy, and so they want freedom from the American oppressor. And we'll have to work religion into it somehow. But you see, Midget,
Naturally.
this is a real idea. The
Maybe
infiltration
we're go
thing.
off the rails.
You're
We're not off the rails.
Are
You're the
you?
one off the rails.
He doesn't understand 4D chess then.
No.
I mean, wouldn't you call that an infiltration of the EU if Trump made that play with Greenland? Use that as an open door into the EU so that he can wind up controlling the EU?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that as infiltration. I mean, because he's never going to tell you right up front, guess what we're doing, folks? Here's the plan. He's not. He's going to be like, well, let me scare you with a little bit of potential policy over here. And while I'm doing that, well, now that we've got Greenland, let's just join the EU. We're just joining the EU. We're just joining. We're not.
Yeah.
We're just joining. Since Greenland, for Greenland's sake, right?
It's no longer a part of
Yeah, but Denmark did come out and say it was not for sale, I believe. They did say this.
Oh, everything's for sale.
But it's like, okay, well, if
Everything.
it's not for sale, why didn't you pay, the money you owed this time around? Because if you're hurting for funds, somebody ran a credit check, they might be like,
That's right.
oh, you look like you could use 500 billion. Was it 500 million? I think it's 500 million that they're supposed to give them on a. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the exact number is.
I want to say it was something to the tune of $500 million a year, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money if you think about it. But I guess as a country, it's not really that much. But does Denmark, I don't know how much in and out Denmark has from an import-export standpoint.
Yeah, I have no idea.
To even consider $500 million. I mean, I look at our numbers, and I guess it's not really wholly unrealistic when we're talking about 20. What are we at? 21 trillion yet? 22?
Yeah, something like that.
Just in debt. That's just our debt.
Yep.
That has.
And then we keep writing checks, just like real life.
Yeah. Well, it's because we got those pens that'll write on rubber now.
Yeah, that's true.
We can.
But all right, yeah, we should probably get out of here though before we stop being able to talk. Before we run out of topics more. It's probably has a pretty strong welfare state. Denmark does. Yeah, that's probably fair. I wonder. I'm gonna check that out right now. Actually, since
Yeah.
we have a few
And there's
minutes.
resources, and again, there's resources there. This is the big thing for my isolationist goals is to get our hands on Greenland.
That's funny. I typed "Does Greenland have?" and the first thing that came up was oil. Does Greenland have oil? Does Greenland have a government? Does Greenland have a military? Does Greenland have penguins? Which is dumb. Does
No,
Greenland have
it's not
trees?
a dumb question. Aren't they very icy cold up in some places in
Yeah, but
Greenland?
penguins are on the South Pole.
Well, I
Penguins are
mean,
south.
but if you're
Um,
if you're 10 years old, that's a reasonable question.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's
Wouldn't
fair.
it, see, that's what they should do with those results. If Google wanted to give us something fun, is put the age range of people that are asking those questions.
Oh yeah, it does. It has modern, well-functioning welfare society where education, pension, health service, and unemployment benefits are established. There you go. There's the answer to the question.
See, we could free them from socialism.
That's right. He said, Midget B said, hell yeah, they have oil.
Yeah, they have
Well,
oil.
then I guess we can export some freedom to them, import some oil.
Could
Do
you
a little trade
imagine?
agreement.
Could you imagine? I want to leave this picture in your mind. AOC's head when we acquired Greenland, and then tell everybody we're going to
Drinking
go
oil.
rape it for all the oil it's got.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get the hell out of here. John, before we
Yeah.
go, real quick, I need a quick 30-second rundown. What do we got coming up in the near future?
Yes.
Boom.
Friday, August 30th, 11 days from now, we have Blonde from the Beauty and the Beta podcast and Blonde in the Belly of the Beast channel. Then on Halloween, we're going to have our Halloween Spooktacular, which we're tentatively saying is going to be a charity stream as well. And then Friday, December 6th, we have our 12-hour live stream for Toys for Tots. So that'll be awesome. We're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to all of that. It's going to be sweet.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. If you haven't done it, hit the like button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button as well, please. We are going to be back again on Friday night with probably something to talk about at 8:30 at night like we normally are. And then we'll be back again the following Monday with another round of shooting the shit.
Oh, yeah.
With excitement building for the following Friday, which is going to be our big show with Blonde.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get my hands on her. I got a few things I want to say to her. But anyway, all right, we're going to get the hell out of here, John. They can reach us somewhere. If they,
yes.
by landline, can they call us on a landline? What can they do?
No. What they can do is they can go down to the description after hitting that like and subscribe button. They can see our Twitter link there, which is at the GenGapP. You can see our Discord link, so they can join our Discord server, because that's always fun. And then they can also go check out freedomscoop.com, where there's some other great creators over there who post stuff and, write stuff and all that kind of cool stuff and stuff.
And soon, coming soon, directions on how to access us through a rotary phone.
Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah. High-tech stuff. High-tech stuff. All right, folks. Have yourselves a great night. We will see you again on Friday. John, peace out to you, and bye.
Yep, see you guys.